Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Gamepack Podcast, brought to you by GamingInstincts.com. I am the editor, Kurt, and I am joined today by my fellow members of Gaming Instincts, including the site owner, Leo.
Hey, what's up, man?
Devin.
Hey, how's it going?
And Jay.
Hey, how's everyone?
What are we talking about today, Kurt?
Well, today we are getting into the notion of remakes under Square Enix. There are various properties that they have apparently contracted out another company to handle. We are also going to be talking about Outriders, the demo that some of us have played.
Sounds good. Yeah, I got a lot to say about Outriders, and I think so does Jay. But
Quite a bit, yeah.
let's talk about the remakes first, because I got a lot of remakes that I want. A lot of people like remakes. I don't know about you guys, but I do. So, for me, I think what's funny is that I think it's safe to say that like remakes and remasters started kind of in the PS3 era. Would that be appropriate to say, right? I think that was kind of like when some of them started coming out. I remember like PS3 even had a release of Ico, and they had Shadow of the Colossus as well. You guys remember those games?
Yeah.
Being re-released for PS3. I never played them on the PS3, so I don't know how much different they were from the PS2 versions. Unfortunately, so I didn't really get to experience that, or whatnot. But then they started releasing, it was funny because like Last of Us came out, right at the end of the PS3 cycle, when PS4 was coming out in that transitional period, and then a year later or so, Last of Us Remastered came out for the PS4. And I think like that whole era of like the last 10 years, like remakes just have been proven to make not only, get people another product that they want for their favorite games that they miss playing or never got to play. It also makes a lot of money for the industry people. Because regular AAA budgets for a new IP is not a very safe thing to do these days, unless you have a buttload of unlimited cash, if you're like Microsoft or something like that. So I think a remake is a really good way for the industry to be safe, while at the same time providing a product that some people maybe never got a chance to play or experience. There's plenty of games that I never got to experience, but now, because of the remakes or reboots or whatever, they're there. So, and I think it's just, people saying, oh, I'm tired of remakes and remasters. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not. I don't know about you guys. I love my remakes and remasters, especially if it's for a game that I wanted to get a remake or remaster, or a game that I didn't even get to play but always wanted to play. How do you guys feel about remakes in the last, or remasters in the last 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, it's like a safe bet for developers. Like if the game's already proven itself to be good, it's like it's gonna make it look a little bit better. It's gonna make a lot of money no matter what.
Right. I think a good example of that is Resident Evil 2 remake. That was an amazing game, dude. For some people, that was like a game of the year. So.
Yeah, then Resident Evil 2, they also it was a remake, but they also like updated for today. Like it did a little bit more than a usual remake would.
They what? What did they do in the remake, you said? I'm sorry?
They like updated it for today.
Oh, really? What did they do? What did they put in?
I mean, there's some new gameplay additions and stuff that makes it a little bit better, a little bit more playable for today.
Oh, you mean in today's standards?
Yeah, the present.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Standards.
I thought they came out with an update today. I was confused. Well, yeah,
No.
because Resident Evil always had the tanky controls and all that. They did some new gameplay additions. I think like one of them was where you were able to use the grenade as a defense. I don't think that first game had that. Where if a leaper jumped you, or a licker jumped you, I think, and you had a grenade in your hand, I think you were able to defend yourself with it. Like you're able to, shove the grenade in its mouth and then it blows up or whatever. So I don't think that was an original game, was it? At least I don't remember.
Not to my knowledge. I think that was introduced with like the remake of the original.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool, and I like that. And not to mention, the game looks amazing. And I think it was recreated in a very good way. Definitely how people at least remember it. It was definitely a game that I enjoyed playing when it came out. What some games you guys enjoyed playing, replaying again, with the remakes or remasters?
Release Jack and Daxter on any platform, and I will buy it.
Right. So you'll play it on a Switch. You'll play it on anything.
I'll play it on whatever it comes to. I've played the Vita versions, the PS4 versions, everything. If you just release Jack and Daxter, I'm a sucker. I'll buy it immediately.
Right. How was I never played the PS4 versions of it. Was it good compared to
Don't
Don't? Why?
the emulation was not great in those versions. The frame rate drops
Really?
consistently. You would be better off playing the PS2 versions than the PS4 versions.
That's kind of embarrassing. Who made that?
I think they were just straight ports when PlayStation was doing the PS2 to PS4 initiative, which didn't last very long. When they brought Dark Cloud 1 and 2 over and everything.
So they're not really like real remasters. They're more of like, hey, here's a port. It looks a little better and still shit, I guess.
Yeah, they were up res to 1080, I believe, and they added trophy support, which they're the same trophy lists as the PS3 version. So if you played them, it's not really.
Is it better than the PS3 versions?
No, the PS3 versions were remastered in full HD, whereas the PS2 versions on PS4 are just up-resed, so it's not true HD.
That's so stupid. That's so dumb. I mean,
and here I am.
Yeah, well,
I still bought the collection on digital and bought every single limited run collector's edition.
So I guess it's safe to say that
my money.
I guess it's safe to say that if there's ever an actual reboot or remake of Jak and Daxter, you'll be the first person in line, right, Jay?
Oh, 1000%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell, man, it was a great game. What about Ratchet? You don't like Ratchet, or?
I liked Ratchet itself. I haven't played any of them since Deadlocked.
You should really play the PS4 ones. They're pretty good.
I have the PS4 one when it was released on PS Plus all those years ago. I
didn't play
it, but I just never downloaded it. No, never played it.
You should play it, dude. Are you gonna try the new one for PS5 or no?
Like to, but I think I should probably get through the.
Yeah,
I know it's not a continuation, but like I might as well get through the first game eventually.
Yeah, you definitely should. Kurt, what about you?
PS5 first.
What games have you replayed or liked playing again?
You know, it's funny. My relationship with like remasters and remakes it's complicated. Like sometimes you get a really interesting case of going back to the original and reworking it in some vast way, and like with the Bionic Commando Rearmed, like that was partially a promotional device for the Bionic Commando remake that didn't go well. But
yeah, that was bad.
Rearmed was good.
Right.
So like sometimes you get something that goes back to the original game, the side scroller from the NES days, and but reworked with 2.5D graphics, something adding new dimensions or some layers of complexity to the original. Sometimes you get like the Splinter Cell HD trilogy on PS3. I like that a lot. It is for me probably what I'd recommend for someone wanting to get into that series. Like, get a PS3, get it cheap, find the Splinter Cell trilogy. You'll have a good time.
Right. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense, dude. For me, I think it was last year, I replayed the entire Nathan Drake collection on the PS4. I got every single trophy, including the brutal difficulty for all the games, and I had a blast. Well, with the exception of doing the brutal difficulty trophies.
Congrats.
Yeah. So I think it was made by Bluepoint, if I'm not mistaken. And Bluepoint is, I mean, I in my opinion, I think they're the best remaking people or remaster people in the business. I mean, you look at Demon Souls. I mean, that doesn't need an explanation to why that remake is so good. Other than the fact that the game is stuck in the early days of game design, but that's because it's an old game. So, or an old Souls game, I should say. But the Demon Souls remake, man, that was on a whole different level, dude. Like, wow, okay, that's incredible. To see a game
Bluepoint's
from
carving themselves an interesting niche of going back to like PS2 and PS3 days and like picking out the gems and going, what if they worked on the modern systems and also, played a bit better?
right,
Like,
yeah.
It's nice.
It's nice. I think saying a bit better is is actually an under appreciate. I mean, I would say it's definitely a lot more than a bit better with the way they do it. You know. Did you play Shadow of the Colossus on the PS4 remake?
I did.
Dude, that game
It
was mind blowing, dude. Wow.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was crazy. Fun fact: Demon Souls runs on that engine, by the way. If you guys didn't know. So they used the Shadow of the Colossus PS4's engine for Demon Souls PS5. So yeah, pretty good if you ask me. I still don't know why Sony hasn't bought them. They need to buy them as soon as possible. Now, do you guys think they would? Do you guys rather have them just for remakes and remasters, or would you want Bluepoint to make a game of their own at some point?
I would prefer it if they just stuck to the remasters
Right.
and remakes, because that's
What they're
you can
known
tell
for.
that they have the passion for
Right.
older properties.
Yeah.
I'm saying they wouldn't do well in their own original IP, but I think bringing back stuff like Metal Gear or Jack and Daxter or Sly Cooper, even,
Yeah, I would like.
Bluepoint directed Metal Gear Solid like remake. Oh man.
I mean, David Hayter posted a Zoom picture with all the original Metal Gear voice actors back at the beginning of the year. I wonder why.
Yeah, that remake's been rumored for a while.
Yeah,
too.
it's been rumored for a long time, dude. I do think it's gonna happen though, if you want my honest opinion. Like I think it's just a matter of time, dude. It would sell absolutely. I think it would just do extremely well. So
Have you guys played the original Metal Gear at all recently?
I will be honest with you, man. I'm not a big Metal Gear fan. The only Metal Gear game that I played from start to finish was Metal Gear Solid 4, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. It's just not a series that I've been into. I know why people like it, and I respect it. But for me, it's like, I'm glad that it exists, kind of a deal. But it's
Don't feel bad, because I think Metal Gear Solid 3 is a mediocre at best game. But
right. I never played it, so I have no opinion.
Fair enough.
I only played 4, and it was basically like watching a glorified movie. I think it was an impressive movie, but that's what it was. So, yeah.
Because the original Metal Gear Solid holds up quite well to this day.
Right. So, Devin, what were you going to say?
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that Bluepoint has made some of their own games. Like they made Flower.
Oh, they made Flower? Really?
Yeah, I'm on the website right now.
Oh, I didn't know. Who made Flow? I don't think they made Flow.
That game company, I believe.
Oh, okay. That was like the equivalent of Flower for PS3 at the time.
Yeah.
And then what?
And they also made everyone's favorite PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Hell yeah, they did.
Wait, they made PlayStation Stars?
They didn't make. They helped with some of the aspect. Yeah, it was Superbot Entertainment was the main developers of that game.
Superbot Entertainment. Wasn't it Sumo Digital also as well? That helped making that game, or am I going crazy?
I don't recall Sumo working on it.
Really? I thought they did. Oh, it's interesting. I must have thought of something else.
Sega All Stars, that's what they did.
Oh, Sega All Stars. Okay, that's probably what I was thinking of then. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, man. I've enjoyed a lot of Bluepoint's. Like Nathan Drake collection was great. The Shadow Colossus remake was great. Demon Souls remake was great. I think they are working on Metal Gear next. I mean, I think it would make the most sense at this point. I don't know what else they could remake. If you wanted my opinion on what Sony IP I would like to have remade, it would have to be Dark Cloud. for me personally. So I don't know if any of you played it, but Dark Cloud has a pretty special place in my heart. Not the first one, I played only the second, but that game was awesome. So,
First Dark Cloud is great.
I never played it. I played the second one as my first game. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. I think me and Devin, we might have touched up on this. Were you the one who made the video on Uncharted 5 potential story people or whatever?
Yes, I did. The main characters.
Yeah, so I don't know if I think I mentioned this to Devin J. I don't remember if we talked about this or Kurt even. But there's a new studio in San Diego by Sony that was in development behind the scenes, where that studio's purpose is literally to bring old Sony franchises to the modern day. That is the description of the studio in the LinkedIn profile by the owner. I mean, if that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what else it tells you, right? So basically, Sony literally made a dedicated studio for like their old games, and if this doesn't prove a point that remakes and remasters are amazing money making machine, then I don't know what else does. I mean, look at do you guys remember how much EA was denying the existence and possibility of Mass Effect 3 Trilogy remaster? Do you guys remember how many rumors there were and how many times EA denied it, until finally they're like, oh yeah, here it is, it does exist, and it's coming out like in 2 months. Kind of funny, right?
Well, even a few years ago, they were saying how they didn't want to any remakes or remasters or anything like that.
Of course, until they saw all the other companies making a shit ton of money. Until then, yeah, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. So it's like the same thing how EA said when they saw the success of, I don't know, this is a little bit off topic, when they saw the success of what is it called, the Respawn's new single player Star Wars game, because I remember them saying single player games have no future. Well, Respawn proved them wrong, because that game sold really well, and now they're even letting them go and make Titanfall 3, which I thought was kind of funny. So yeah. And with Anthem's failure, they even decided to take off the multiplayer aspect from Dragon Age because of what happened with Anthem. Because Dragon Age, the new one, was supposed to be a fantasy game like Anthem with dragons in it, and that's not happening anymore, which I think is a good thing. So that just goes to show you how people are quickly to change their mind as soon as they see the money sign or the dollar sign. You know, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of money in the remake business. That's why Square is even doing the whole thing with the Forever Entertainment Company. Who wants Parasite Eve remade? Would you guys play that?
That would be a hell of a thing.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of people would definitely play Parasite Eve. I actually, that's a really good example, because that's a game that I never got to experience as a kid. I never got to play it. And I looked up some videos on YouTube, and now I want to play it because I thought it looked cool as fuck. So yeah, I would definitely play that. Personally, I would love to try a reboot of that. And I actually never got to play at the time, I never really got to experience Final Fantasy VII when it was the current thing. My first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy X. That's what got me into the whole Final Fantasy bandwagon. And then when, there were rumors of Final Fantasy VII Remake and all that, I've decided to actually sit down and play the original version of Final Fantasy VII. Well, it's not really original because I played it on the PlayStation 4, but it was the port of the PS1 version. And so I replayed it to see what is all the hype about Final Fantasy VII and why people liked it. And then when the remake came out, well, now it's one of my favorite games of last year. It was great. And if there is a new Final Fantasy that I do want remade, and because I've heard a lot of people talk praise about it, is Final Fantasy VI. I never got to play that either. I would definitely play a remake of that if it ever existed. So, yeah.
I think what they need to do, they don't need to remake the original Super Nintendo version. They need to go back and remake the Game Boy Advance version.
Why is that?
Oh.
What is that?
The Game Boy Advance had updated chiptunes, had some small quality of life improvements, a better translation, and I think they added an extra dungeon in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the
definitive
best
version
way to play Final Fantasy VI is on your Game Boy.
Yeah.
And I think if they're going to remake it, Same with Chrono Trigger as well. They need to remake it in the Octopath Traveler style. Just that
Yeah,
beautiful.
I love that
pseudo 3D.
I never played Octopath, but that art style is incredible. I love it. Yeah, it's good.
That's
Isn't that
gorgeous.
what Triangle Strategy or Project Triangle Strategy is looking like too? Kind of like the same
yeah,
style.
it's a spiritual successor to Octopath, and I'm stoked.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'll have to play those games. Is it only on Switch or the Octopath game?
The first Octopath is on PC as well.
They don't have it on PS4 or Xbox? That's lame.
It was a Switch exclusive for I think a year and a half, and then it made its way over to PC.
Dumb. Whatever. I wanted to play it on the consoles. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, what Square Enix remakes do you want to see?
They
None?
should bring back Fear Effect.
Fear Effect? I've never played that. What is that? Is that like an adventure game? Or is that an action game?
It's kind of it's a mix of things. Like, it was doing the Resident Evil fixed camera angles, but it was doing like a supernatural sci-fi spy thriller kind of mashup.
So it's is it a horror game then, I guess?
Kind of, yeah.
Right, like a psychological horror game? Sounds like that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It and its sequel came out on the PlayStation, then the series went dormant, and then Fear Effect Sidna came out a couple years ago,
Right.
published by Forever Entertainment. So it's not as though the Fear Effect brand is entirely dead.
Right.
So if Square Enix were gonna jump on anything, that's just sitting there. Like, yeah, that's interesting enough.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they have a lot of IPs they could definitely go into. I mean, wasn't the high time of Square Enix, or I think it was just called Square back then? It was the PS1 days? That was like when they were absolutely like monsters. I think back in those days. So yeah, they had a lot of good stuff. Chrono Trigger, man.
Bring back Final Fantasy 8, 9, Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. What about Panzer Dragoon, the Panzer Dragon RPG? Was that Square or no? I think it was, right? Or was that somebody else?
I think that was Square. I'm gonna look that up.
Devin, what game would you like to have remade? Like in general, like not
guess-
just like even Square Enix, or like any game that you would like remade or rebooted.
Well, Square Enix, you guys already brought it up, but Chrono Trigger is always a game I've tried to play, but I've never actually finished. But I think if it was remade, I would definitely want to actually play all the way through it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, bring back Final Fantasy 8 and update the gameplay system so you can't break it in the first 15 minutes and you're
Well,
set.
I never played 8, so I have no opinion.
I got like midway through that game and just got bored of the story, but I'd like to go back and try it again.
For sure. Any of you guys gonna play Mass Effect Trilogy again?
I'm making my way through Andromeda right now, so as soon as I'm done Andromeda, I'd probably pick up the
Oh.
remasters.
Oh god.
Is it as bad as people say?
Did you?
No, it's not terrible. It's good. It's nowhere close to the trilogy, but if you just want to have a cool story, and a great gameplay.
The gameplay is
Enjoyed it.
really good, but the story is where it's lacking. So yeah.
See, I find the characters to be lacking a bit, and the
Yeah, story
world
and
itself,
characters.
as beautiful, it's just empty.
Yeah, it is. Did you play the original trilogy? You did, right, Jay?
Yeah, I love the original trilogy. It's some of my favorite games.
Yeah. My first game in the series was 2, and it was so good that I decided to replay 1, and I was like, wow, how did I not play this before? Definitely gonna be replaying. 1 was, I think, gameplay-wise, it was kind of doo-doo, but the building of the lore and all that stuff was fantastic, and the music was great.
Oh, absolutely. I think because I just couldn't stand the gameplay of 1, I finished that one in 16 hours. Then Mass Effect 2 and 3 I finished in like 60 to 70 on my first playthrough.
Right.
God, no, I love Mass Effect.
Yeah, Mass Effect is great. I'm super excited for the new one. I'm so glad they're bringing back the old crew. Damn, dude.
I'm interested to see if they remasters at all are going to tie itself into the fourth game. So,
Right.
like in whatever happened in your copy of the trilogy, are they going to play into that? So let's say Tally isn't around anymore. She died in 3. If that happened, then once you get to 4, will she be dead still, or how are they gonna read your save file and stuff like that?
I guess they might have to do something like what they have with Dragon Age, where they have this whole page on their site where you upload all the choices you made and the saves, and then you can integrate that into your Inquisition file.
Possibly,
So-
but with it all being on the next gen consoles, you think they'd be able to read the save data?
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
Yeah, for sure. You know what remaster I need? And it's not really even an old game. I don't think Sony will ever do it. Because they're completely, like, pretend it doesn't exist. You guys want to take a guess what it is?
Order 1886?
No. Fuck that game.
Again, another game I got for free, never turned it on.
Yeah, Bloodborne. I need a dude, I need a remaster in 4K 120, please, thank you.
Are they doing a 60 FPS patch?
Dude, no, but some random guy on the internet did. On a jailbroken PS4.
Oh, that's probably where I'm getting confused.
Yeah, dude. The fact that a singular person is able to pull something like that off is absolutely insane to me, dude. Like, how are you not, like, you have the money. Like, Bloodborne is, like, one of your most, if not the most successful game you've put out on the previous generation system. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys so secretive? Like, it boggles my mind, dude. It's annoying.
They dropped the DLC and then ignored the game, and it's one of the greatest games.
Yeah, it's a dude. Like, normally, look, I'm a very harsh critic when it comes to games, dude. Like, Bloodborne, there's only one problem that I have with Bloodborne. Do you guys want to take a guess what it is?
Multiplayer?
No.
No.
There's not enough of it. That's the problem with Bloodborne. Okay, it's the closest game that I've played to what I would call perfection. Like, because there's no perfect things really in existence, kind of, right? You can only get to like a masterpiece, but that game is considered to be a masterpiece. I mean, look at Last of Us 2. You can't call it a perfect game for many different reasons, but it's considered to be a masterpiece, right? There's a lot of games like that. Zelda Breath of the Wild, I guess. Well, for most, I don't know. Would you consider that a perfect game? I don't know. Masterpiece, probably, yeah. Perfect game, I don't think so. But Bloodborne, like, for me, dude, it was the art direction is incredible. The enemy design is great. The combat system is fantastic, dude. The world building and everything is really good. Maybe like the later half of the game gets a little bit iffy, but the first half of the game is absolutely amazing. I think from everything they've done, DLC was really good too, and it's like there was never a moment in Bloodborne for me where I wanted to say like, oh, this is like boring or this is not interesting. Like maybe the part when the sun goes or like the blood moon happens. I think after that point it gets a little bit kind of like a little bit on the lower end of hype. But even then, it was still kind of really good. And I wish there was just more stuff of it, or like certain parts of the game would spend a little bit more time somewhere in different parts of the world or something like that. But again, that's just nitpicking. That game literally was just like, here it is. It's almost perfect. Have fun with it, Chalice dungeons, I guess you could say, were like an experiment. That was kind of yay and nay. But again, that was just something that was there in addition to it. So yeah. But that's just me, and I feel like if that game was remastered, man, I would love to play it again. I played it a lot when it came out, different characters, different builds. But to replay it at 60 frames and like watching speed runs of that game is fun. Watching no hit runs of that game is also a lot of fun. Dude, it's a great game, man. I've had a lot of fun with it. Definitely would like to see a remaster. I don't think it needs a remake. I mean, its game is only 5 years old, dude, like 6 years old. Definitely needs a sequel, 100%. But yeah, I'll take a remaster as well. So yeah, but that's just me, man. That's my personal opinion on a game that I would like to have a remaster of someday, sooner or later. If it doesn't happen, then oh well. Now, if I have a choice between a remaster or a sequel, I will definitely take the sequel. So yeah.
Yeah, because the original is just so playable right
Oh
now.
yeah, it's very playable, dude.
So well.
Yeah, it holds up well, but they could do it so much better with PS5, and it's just like, okay. I'm pretty positive they're gonna do something for Last of Us 2 on the PS5. There's no way they're not. That's their biggest game of the generation. I mean, they have to. They're probably gonna be releasing. Here, I'm gonna make a prediction right now, and you guys can come back. Whoever's watching this or whatever, even you guys can make fun of me or not fun of me. I'm gonna make a prediction right now that they're gonna release a definitive edition or maybe even a free upgrade or something for Last of Us 2. That's gonna have factions tied to it. I remember they said it was like a separate thing. I don't know if they're gonna do it free or what, but I do think there's gonna be some sort of a package where you get the new bells and whistles on the PS5 and some new maybe even content additions. Who knows? But there's probably gonna be something more definitive for the Last of Us 2 on the PS5 sooner or later, in my opinion. So yeah.
I'm hoping for just a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Devin.
Oh, I was just gonna say that doesn't seem too controversial.
Right. I mean, well, it would be controversial if it wasn't free, though.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm guessing that
But-
whenever Last of Us 2 comes to PS5, people are gonna get mad in some way because it's gonna.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get mad
be
at it
full
anyway.
price, or
Right.
be full priced, and they're like, this needs to be free.
I guarantee you, if it's a definitive edition that costs $70, Sony knows that people are gonna buy it. But I don't. If they do that, I think it's a big mistake. I don't think they should sell anything related to Last of Us $70 unless it's Last of Us 3. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
No, I agree. I spent $300 on The Last of Us Part 2, and I don't want to spend an extra.
What did
For me,
you
it would be $90 just to re-experience it on
What did you
PS5.
spend $300 for, dude?
Oh Jesus, it was a mistake. It was the big special edition that came with the Ellie backpack and
Oh,
the
nice.
statue and the
What
vinyl.
happened? It broke.
No, it's still around. I use that backpack every day. I love it. It just was not worth $300. That was a moment of weakness.
Yeah, the collector's edition are never worth what they say they are. So yeah, I never buy those, dude. I stopped. The only time it's worth spending that kind of money is when you buy it and you never open it. And then 10 years later you resell it. That's the only time when that shit is worth like that kind of money.
Oh no, my fiance kicked my ass when I came home with that.
I bet. Yeah. Well, since you have so much money, Jake, can you go buy Devin a capture card and a PC, please?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, that will be actually a lot more beneficial.
Don't
So.
forget, that was back in June before I was working with you guys.
Oh well, now that we know your secret, yeah, time to buy a DSLR camera for those fancy podcasts on YouTube, dude.
I got a nice Sony 6100 camera sitting around.
Oh, good. I was thinking of showing our faces at some point. I know Devin is ecstatic about that. Right, Devin?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you could tell by the tone of his voice.
No, but replaying Last of Us Part 2 in 60 FPS with DualSense 5 Sport would be
At 4K. At
something
4K.
Special.
Yes.
4K, yeah.
Yeah,
that would be
and
something
then
special,
120 FPS for factions. Absolutely.
1000%. I loved factions in Last of Us Part 1.
It was great.
I just want it so badly. I'm working on my third playthrough.
Did you get all the trophies?
Almost. I'm just going through getting the collectible stuff.
Right before Last of Us 2 came out, dude, I went back to the remaster. And I finished 100% of trophies in the Last of Us remaster. So I had to do 70 days of the multiplayer thing that they had in game time. I had to do New Game Plus, Grounded Plus, or whatever it was called. I had to do all that stuff, so it was pretty.
One of the worst trophy lists of all time.
I did it. I mean, you know,
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring myself. I tried on PS3. I got most of the multiplayer trophies. It was those New Game Pluses that just ruined it for me. It made me like The Last of Us a lot less.
I kind of enjoyed the challenge. It kind of made me play the game that I felt like it was meant to be played. I always felt like Last of Us was more of a stealth game than anything else, really. But thankfully, Last of Us 2's gameplay really improved the original games. I think the gameplay in the first game was a little bit boring, but it was the story that kept me going, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just my thing. As far as like any other games that were like remade or remastered, maybe Gex, if you guys remember those games.
Oh my god, Gex.
Dude, Gex was
Gex.
great, dude. Come on, you don't remember Gex? You guys remember Croc? What was it? Yeah, it was Croc. Childhood games, man. Conquer, but
Look.
yeah, I don't even want to talk about Conquer. That makes me sad.
Look, until they do another 3D tie the Tasmanian tiger, do whatever the heck you want. Just give me Ty. Just give me the
Right.
tiger.
So here's the thing, guys. I remember a long time ago when PS4 came out, what were people begging for? Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot came out. Crash Bandicoot 4 came out last year. Activision gave it to me. You guys weren't around when that happened, and it was a great game. Like, I loved how good Crash 4 was. Did you guys play Crash 4? It's a really good game, man. And of course, before that, they remade Spyro, and they remade the trilogy for Crash. Dude, the Spyro trilogy, man, I was very impressed with how good that game looks, dude.
I'm so happy they did it. I'm
Dude,
so happy.
It sold really well. It performed really well, and I would not be surprised at this point that there will be Spyro 4 or whatever the next Spyro game, because the nice thing about also remasters is that when you put those games out there, they don't cost as much to remake or whatever, right? Remaster. They are also a really good way to gauge, are people still interested in this franchise? Can this IP still sell well? Because, you know, Toys for Bob, I think they did both Crash Trilogy and Spyro Trilogy. Because those games sold so well, they were able to make Crash 4. And now Crash 4 is also getting updated for PS5 and the Series X. And I'm gonna definitely play it again, man, because in 4K and all that. That game's beautiful, dude. Such a good game, dude. Highly recommend that you guys play Crash 4. Like, if you want to relive your good child memories and you want to play a good game, play that game, but play it on the PC or play it on the new gen consoles if you can. It's definitely going to be worth it. And it's not as expensive. I think it's a $40 game, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's $40. Definitely worth it, man. But yeah, so that just, again, goes to prove that remakes are a good way to test grounds to see if, if people are still interested in that. You know what we really need remade? Soul Reaver.
Oh, Soul Reaver.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
A classic game that I've heard nothing but good things about and never been able to experience myself.
Yeah, I think another game that needs to be remade. This is a little bit more niche. EA owns the rights to it, I think. The problem is I don't think there's a market for this type of a game these days. I was a PC gamer, dude, back in the day, and like that was my thing. And I mean, I'm still am a PC gamer. I just like play it on everything. Black and White. Did you guys ever play Black and White? Any of you? Have you guys heard of it back in the day? Do you guys know what the game is about?
No.
No.
Wait, no idea.
You have no idea? Okay,
That
so
was one of Molyneux's projects.
yeah,
wasn't
it was the
Peter
Molyneux project. Yeah, before Peter Molyneux went insane. Yeah, back when he was actually a good game designer.
Oh, I have heard of this. I just googled and like I have heard
Dude,
of this.
that game was so awesome, man. It was so good. Like, so you basically play a god, like literally, and then you have these creatures that you grow. They're not like babies, but they're smaller size, gigantic creatures. like avatars kind of a deal, and you can make them evil, you can make them good, and you feed them and they grow, and then you go to all the gods, and then you can either have those creatures fight each other or you can have alliances. Dude, it was like the whole creature aspect of it, and like the whole idea and how well the game played, and the like the art style of it. It was a great game, man. It was like a typical hardcore PC RTS god genre mixed in type of a game. That's the problem, man. RTS games are very it's sad, man. I did you guys know what happened? Did you guys know what happened with StarCraft behind the scenes?
No idea.
Okay, let me shed some light on you. With you guys. You guys obviously know what StarCraft is. I don't have to talk about that, right?
No, I've never heard of StarCraft.
Of course not. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Some people maybe didn't. Devin, you know what StarCraft is. I'm just gonna double check.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, have any of you guys played StarCraft 1 or 2? It doesn't matter. No?
First
Okay.
one.
Okay, what about you, Devin? Did you play any of the StarCraft games?
No.
Okay, have you guys played Battlefield? Any of you?
I've dabbled.
Okay, Devin, did you play Battlefield? Any Battlefield game, Kurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so basically, there was StarCraft 1, there was StarCraft 2. And StarCraft is mostly known for like competitive stuff. And what happened was, apparently, the next mainline StarCraft game was a first-person shooter game that played like Battlefield, and you could play as the Zerg on the ground, you could play as the Terran, and you could play as the what do you call them? I forget, Protoss. And the sad part is, this is so sad, man, because if this would actually come out, this game would probably make me quit my job. And I would probably just quit life and play forever. But basically, it was the next mainline StarCraft game was gonna be a first-person Battlefield-like game in the StarCraft universe, and it just sounded so glorious. And the most saddest part about this is this: internally, the game was doing really good. Like the playtests were good. The people at the company liked the game of what they played, and and things like that. Then came in the higher ups and canceled it. And they canceled it because they needed to put more resources on Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. I am very upset because of that. So, yeah. That could have been really good. Sad story. So, I don't know what's going on with StarCraft. But anyway, if you guys didn't know what was happening with StarCraft, now you do. So, I have no idea what they're working on now. But that was kind of an interesting tidbit. So, yeah. Could have been cool. But, oh well, it is what it is.
I mean, I got the sense with the way everything played out with the last StarCraft 2 expansion, that, like, they'd gone as far as they wanted to with the story.
Right.
So, like, if they had to end it there, that's a solid place to end it.
Right.
But, to not even, like, get the option of, like, spinning off into some, new genre territory, maybe reviving StarCraft Ghost.
Right. All right. Yeah, of course.
And to not even be able to explore that option, that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. I mean, look at what is it called? I forget. Diablo. Diablo is the only franchise that is, in my opinion, to this day, that's still what it was back then in terms of like isometric views and things like that. I don't know if you guys knew this. There was a Diablo project in development. It was titled Fenris. That was a code name for it. And this was after Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. Then Diablo, which was basically, at that time, it was Diablo 4. But the concept of that Diablo 4 than the one that we have today was very different. It was a Diablo game that was going to play like Dark Souls, and it got cancelled. And the reason why it got cancelled was because they decided to go back to the isometric view. Interesting, right? So Diablo was going to change its quote-unquote genre or whatever, but they played it. It was good, but they said it didn't feel like Diablo because it was just a third person, high fantasy, like dark gothic fantasy again, like Dark Souls is. So they in the Sanctuary universe, which is the Diablo's universe, Would have played that? Yes, that sounded like a dream come true. I would have definitely played that. I think they should have kept it as a spin-off, but oh well. Warcraft is actually the only game that changed its genre completely and is very successful with World of Warcraft. So yeah, I don't think there will ever be a Warcraft 4. In my opinion. But anyway, that's besides the, point. So have you guys played Outriders? I've played it quite a bit. Jay, I know you've played it.
Played quite a bit as well.
Yeah, and so did Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Devin here is super sus because he doesn't appreciate good co-op games. Devin,
You can actually play co-op.
You like co-op games, Devin? Oh no.
I like co-op games. I'm not a big fan of looter shooters, but
Why you don't like looter shooters? Is it just like, do you prefer just more direct storytelling games, or like?
yeah, I'm a big story guy in my games. I like.
Okay, so would you say you're more of a single player person than multiplayer? I guess.
Yes. For
All right.
sure.
So do you play any multiplayer games at all?
I kind of dabble in some, but I'm never like really get into them. Like,
Right. Fair enough. Yeah, people like different things, dude. But anyway, so who did you guys play as in Outriders? I know you could play all of them. Did you guys try all the classes?
I tried all of classes. I spent the bulk of my time as trickster though.
Yeah, I think that's what most people liked. I liked the Devastator a lot. I've always played tanking classes in most games. I'm a prot warrior in World of Warcraft, so for me that's a lot of fun. Always been, the heavy hitter or protector, I guess I should say. Who did you play as, Kurt? Trickster as well?
I was trickster all the way. Time powers, man.
Right.
It's delightful. It is just it is
Too much fun.
like yeah, no, it's so good.
Dude, I tried the Pyromancer. I thought he was kind of lame. I don't know.
Yeah, the Pyromancer was my least favorite class out of that game. I thought
maybe
it was a very good AOE, but
maybe it's a class that gets better like end game because, dude, like at the beginning you have like no way to like protect yourself really. Like you're supposed to stay at a distance at all times, and I don't know how far the fire reaches, but dude, like you get killed fast as a Pyromancer, dude. Like their health goes down quick. The Ranger, the Technomancer, I thought was okay. Wasn't crazy about it, but I thought he was alright.
I think the Technomancer is more of a support class, and as I was playing,
Yeah, it is a support class.
Yeah, as I was playing on my own, I found myself, if I played with more people, like if we all picked up the game, I'd probably do Technomancer just to keep support. But on my lone playthrough, Trickster was the best class to just lone wolf it.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think Trickster and Devastator are good. Devastator's way like the earthquake that you can do and the gravity jump, dude. I love the visual effects for that. They did really good with it. So
the visual effects in general are just top notch.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
When you throw out the time bubble for Trickster and you see the bullets.
Oh, dude, that was incredible.
Immediately slow. Oh,
yeah, I actually, it took me a little bit to notice that. I was like, that's a really cool attention to detail. But here's the problem, dude, that I have. They put in like these nice little details in here, but then you like look at the world and you're kind of like, okay, this feels like I've been here before. Like, I want to like the lore, I want to like the universe, but it doesn't feel. I don't know what it is. It's just something's off about it, dude. It feels like it's bland. Like that's kind of the feeling that I get. I know you've kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, how it doesn't feel like complete. So maybe you want to shed some light on it.
Yeah, like it has that familiar Square Enix problem of like feeling a layer or two too complicated, but it also feels weirdly small and cheap. Like there's so much to the backstory, to the prologue. There's a whole different setting there leading up to the, core premise of the game. But then you get into the actual gameplay and it's like basically boxed in dungeons.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's a Square Enix thing, but game is made by People Can Fly, who made Bulletstorm. So those are the developers. I don't know if Square Enix really has anything to do with that. But what do you
I
mean?
think they're just publishing it.
Yeah, they're just publishing it.
It gives me the same vibes as a lot of Final Fantasy stuff, where it feels like they spent a lot of money in not the best places.
Right. I see what you mean. Yeah.
And like on a lot of lore that like a handful of people will go, that's really interesting. I like that. But most people are like, I don't care. I just want the shooting to be good, and I want characters to care about.
Right.
And that doesn't seem to be apparent right now. Like, that doesn't seem to be what the game's delivering right now.
I'll tell you what really turned me off. Normally, I like to listen to cutscenes. I thought the voice acting was decent. But what the hell is going on with the camera shake, dude? Oh my god. Was there guys' cameras shaking in the cutscenes as if, like, the cameraman was, like, on an earthquake or something?
I think the only time that happened was during the action sequences, not during still shots.
No, dude, I had it during still shots. I don't know if this is an Xbox thing or if it's a PS, like a PC thing, but it was like the camera would bop, like, up and down, like, as if, like, someone thought, like, someone went to a meeting and said to them, let's have the camera always go up and down, and the 5-year-old Jimmy said, yeah, that's good, let's do that. And yeah, well, that's I don't know why it comes off that way to me. It just looked really weird, and I didn't like that at all.
You know what, this was like the first PC game I really delved into, so it might have been just me thinking, hey, yeah, that's a PC. I didn't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. You played it on PC, you said, or?
Yeah, I played it on PC just because it was the easiest to capture from.
Yeah, I know that the PC version was actually worse than like, it wasn't as well optimized as the console versions were. So yeah, it was stuttering for me and stuff too on PC. It played better on my Xbox Series X.
I didn't encounter much stutter or anything like that personally, but
I did.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of stutter. Your system might have been different than mine.
Lucky bastard.
Why?
Out of the three of us.
Why? You had nothing?
Playing it on the Xbox One.
Yeah, definitely lucky on that one. Wait, you said lucky or unlucky?
Unlucky.
Oh, I thought you said lucky.
It has stuttering and slowdown issues, loading screens they go on.
That's why I don't play cross-gen games on old-gen systems. Are you gonna get the Series X, Kurt? What's your deal with that?
Look, it took me until a couple of years ago to get an Xbox One.
Oh, okay.
So the price is just... No, it's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while. Gotcha. That's fine. Well, yeah, I mean, I think the game has potential. I like how it does certain things over other games. I like the inventory system more. I like how when items drop on the floor, you can tell if it's an upgrade or not. Diablo actually does that. Diablo 3 does that. And I think that's where that kind of came from. Or maybe, I don't know if Borderlands does that, but I know Diablo 3 did. So
I don't think Borderlands 1 didn't. I haven't played any other ones.
Right. So I think co-op wise, I didn't really get to play with a friend because it would disconnect us all the time. I think co-op wise, this game is going to be more fun than playing alone, but I think it's also playable solo if you're playing the right class. I mean, you can play as any class you want, but, you know, some classes are more fun and easier to play as solo than others. I do like the world tier system. I think that's a good idea. Instead of giving the game an artificial difficulty where you choose hard, medium, or something like that, I think it's kind of cool how you can change everything on the fly. What I didn't like was how segmented the world was. Like in the prologue, when you get to the area where you see a bunch of creatures come out, that was so cool. And then you're introduced into a linear pathway, and I was like, dude, this feels like a game from the early 2000s, like the early like that PS3 game maybe, where, you know, you come to an area, it's nice and open, and then everything is super linear. Like, that is very old school, old game design, and I did not like that at all. So
yeah, it looked like it was multiplayer Bulletstorm, pretty much. It was very linear, very smooth gameplay, but that's all there really was to it. You know exactly where you go. There was no exploration. and the side quests brought you to separated by loading screens. It did feel very segmented, I agree.
I give them credit for putting out a big demo like that in today's day and age. That's a very risky thing to do, so props to them.
Also allowing you to carry over progress.
Oh, they do? Allow you to carry over progress from the demo?
All your progress, so all your legendaries, all your skills, everything carries over to the full game.
I did not know that. That's really cool. I need to go play it a little bit.
Smart.
So it's not a waste of time then to play the game. Nice.
Nope, put 10, 15 hours into it, you're pretty much just getting the game, a month early? Month and a half early?
Yeah, if you want to grind up to that point, yeah. Whatever gives you World Tier 5, I think, yeah.
World Tier 5 and level 7 cap, I believe.
And a Legendary or 2, I think, too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know they just patched the demo, too, to make Legendary farming harder.
Oh, okay. Good. I guess it probably was too easy. What's the level cap like in the main game, do you know?
I'm not sure what the main game is itself.
Like 30, 60, 50?
I know the level cap for World is 15.
Right.
I'm not sure what it's going to be for the main game.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out when the time comes. Yeah, my fear is that this is what's gonna happen. People are gonna get to World Tier 15, and they're just gonna be repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And I mean, granted, that's what Destiny does, but oh man, I think Destiny is a flop, dude. To be honest, like even Destiny has issues like where it just feels repetitive, dude. No matter what they do. I know this sounds funny, but I feel like ever since Bungie separated from Activision, I think the game got worse. To be honest.
I haven't played Destiny since it first launched.
You're not missing much. Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, the Forsaken expansion was really good, but that was still under Activision's belt. So I don't know if Bungie's lacking the finances or what. I know they're making a new IP, so yeah, whatever. Anyway, not to get off topic, I'm just saying those games are related in similar ways. I don't know, man. I'm afraid that the game might not have Steam. But you know what? I'll play it. So, why not? I think it has more potential. I think it has more chance of surviving than Anthem. So, I'll tell you that much.
Anthem's completely dead now.
Yeah, Anthem is super dead. Sadly, because Anthem had, out of all the games, Anthem had the best gameplay, like, in terms of combat and all that. It was great. But, oh well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Outriders' biggest problem right now for me is there's hopefully once you get past the first chapter there's more gameplay elements, but right now it's just mow down mob after mob. There's no alternate objectives or anything.
Yeah, it feels like you're just going into a glorified arena map and then that's all you do. So yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna have PvP.
I hope not. I'd rather, I mean, I like PvP, but I'd rather have them focus on and make this game good, and then worry about PvP later.
I'd rather them focus to make the game good as well, but I wonder if PvP will ever come to the game.
I don't know. A lot of balancing issues, right? And things like that. Huh? Destiny has PvP, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I always enjoyed that PvP, but that was early Destiny, so I don't know how it's progressed now.
It's there, it is what it is, I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's just how it is. But
I'm looking forward to Outriders, like its full release.
Yeah, I'll play it. I'll try it out. Kurt, are you gonna play it or what?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I want to see where they're going with the story, because I feel like a lot of that determines what the post-launch support looks like.
Right.
Like, if they can stick the landing on the main story, then maybe there's hope for, like, Destiny-style expansions on the thing.
Right. Yeah. I feel like also, I know that it's a cross-gen game, and the reason why they did it was because they don't want to lose the the player base of previous-gen ecosystems or, whatnot. I feel like this game being cross-gen is really what hurts it, though. So, yeah. Again, cross-gen games will always not... I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of cross-gen games. Especially games like this. A game that's meant to be long-lasting and stuff. But, oh well. Yeah.
Have to pull a Destiny in 5 years and just cancel the previous gen versions eventually.
I mean, yeah, dude, it's the same thing what was with Destiny when it came out for the PS3, dude. I heard it was like a ghost town. Like, people just did not play it on that system, dude. They played it on the PS4 mostly. So, yeah. But, that's what it is. Anyway, guys, do you have any more, wait, what? What'd you say? I'm sorry?
I was gonna say, like, I would echo Kurt's sentiment. I'm interested in the story. I hope it leaves stuff open for some expansions and everything. And I really hope Outriders does well, because we don't have enough good looter shooters. We have Destiny and The Division and Warframe.
Yeah. Warframe is incredible for what it is, though. Yeah, it's free.
I tried a few years ago. It is way too complicated.
Yeah, it is, but the value that it gives you, dude, for being a free-to-play game, I've never seen that kind of quality before. It's pretty crazy what they achieved. So yeah,
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, a lot of developers should definitely follow that suit, and publishers really, they're more than developers. So yeah, it is a complicated game, but you know, it's super grindy. But people, that's what people play those games for, because they like to grind.
Like Monster Hunter World's one of my favorite games. I grind 300-400 hours in that game.
Right. Yeah.
The grind's never bothered me, and I hope Outriders just carves itself a permanent place.
For sure. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think people will play it only because of out of the desperation, because Anthem is not gonna be around, kind of and people are also getting tired of Destiny's bullshit. So yeah.
These past year or two, that's all I've heard is just Destiny complaints. Never anything to praise about the game. Just always something wrong with it.
Yeah, there's always things wrong with it, dude. Alright, fellas. Thank you all for being here, and make sure you tune in to next week, because we have a special guest, and I'm not gonna tell you who it is. Otherwise, it's not interesting. Come back next week, guys. Thank you guys, everybody. Thank you, Kurt, Devin, and Jay for being here. See you guys next week.
Yep.